You know, our bodies are constantly talking to us. They're sending out these tiny chemical clues about our health all the time. But what if we could actually understand that language? Well, today, we're diving into the science that's learning to do just that, and how it could help us spot diseases like cancer way earlier than we ever thought possible.
And that's the big question, isn't it? For a disease like colorectal cancer, where catching it early changes everything, could the answer really be in a simple test, not some complex invasive procedure? That's the revolutionary idea we're going to unpack today.
So first, let's set the stage. To really get why this research is such a game changer, we have to understand the challenge it's up against. When it comes to colorectal cancer, time is absolutely everything. Seriously. The difference between catching it early, when it's treatable, and finding it later, it's all about time. And for years, finding a way to get ahead of that clock has been a massive challenge for medicine. It's what drives this whole search. Okay, so this brings us to a really cool new approach. Instead of just looking for the disease itself, what if we could track the chemical breadcrumbs it leaves behind?
The key players in this story are these little things called metabolites. Now, it sounds like a fancy science term, but the idea is actually super simple. Think of your body as an engine. As it runs, digesting your lunch, making energy, it produces these tiny molecules. They're kind of like chemical exhaust. And a healthy engine, it has a pretty predictable exhaust pattern. But a sick one? Well, that's where we start finding the clues.
So how do scientists actually read these clues? It breaks down like this. Right now, millions of chemical reactions are happening inside you. Those reactions create metabolites, those chemical fingerprints we just talked about. All of them together form what scientists call a metabolic signature, and it's totally unique to you. The final and most important step, scientists can now analyze that signature and spot tiny changes that might signal something's wrong. So what specific signals are we talking about with colorectal cancer? Let's take a look at what researchers have been finding.
Now, here's the thing. It's not about finding one single cancer molecule. It's about seeing a whole pattern shift. Scientists have found dozens of these chemical fingerprints that are at different levels. Some are way up, some are way down in people who have colorectal cancer. And take a look at this. These are some of the big ones that keep popping up in the research. What's fascinating is that they're all amino acids. You know the basic building blocks of protein? Take leucine, for instance. It's been flagged in 8 separate studies. This suggests that the way cancer grows and uses energy might completely change how our bodies are handling these fundamental building blocks. These aren't just one-off findings, they are recurring signals, again and again.
And this right here, this is what builds real scientific confidence. You see, if one lab finds a connection, that's interesting. But when labs all over the world, working completely independently, start pointing to the exact same signals like leucine or serine, that's when an idea starts to become solid evidence.
So let's be super clear here. This isn't just some new theory. This is a field that's been built on a really solid foundation of scientific research.
I mean, check this out. This is the title from just one of the many, many papers that this data comes from. Metabolomics of human colorectal cancer. This has been a dedicated area of study for years, with scientists carefully mapping out these chemical clues in major scientific journals.
And the sheer volume of this research is, well, it's huge. The data connecting these specific metabolites to colorectal cancer is pulled from more than 40 different research papers. Think about that. Each one of those papers represents a team of scientists, years of work, and another piece of this giant puzzle.
So if there's one thing to take away from this section, it's this. We're not talking about a fluke finding from one lab. We're watching a global scientific consensus being built piece by piece from an enormous body of evidence. Okay, so we've got all this amazing research, but what does it mean for you and me? What's the end game here? How does this get out of the lab and into our lives? Well, here's a side-by-side that says it all. Current screening methods, while they're definitely effective, can be invasive and, let's be honest, pretty inconvenient. The future that this research is pointing to? It could be as simple as a blood test or a stool sample. The goal is to create a test that can hear the quiet chemical whispers of a problem long before it ever becomes a loud shout.
And that's really the dream, isn't it? The goal isn't to replace doctors, it's to give them an incredible new tool. Imagine a simple, non-invasive test that just becomes part of your regular annual checkup, giving you and your doctor a much earlier heads up on what's going on inside your body.
So, why does all this matter to you right now? Well, first, it's about knowing that science is on the case, developing these powerful new tools for early detection. Second, the next time you get a routine blood test, you can see it in a whole new light, as a gold mine of these potential metabolic clues. And most importantly, this knowledge empowers you. It lets you have more informed conversations with your doctor about comprehensive screening. Being proactive about your health is your single greatest strength.
At the end of the day, what this research really shows us is that our bodies are incredible storytellers. They're filled with signals and secrets we are just now finally learning how to read. And it leaves you with a really exciting question. What amazing things about our own health will we learn to understand next? Thanks for tuning in.